With the significantly higher price of the Japan Rail Pass now, is it still worth buying? Unfortunately, with the new price, it does not seem to be practical anymore for a typical itinerary, but there are still ways to maximize it. Please keep on watching to know how. We have used JR Pass 3 times since we started traveling around Japan. We bought them at the old prices and we had 1.5, 3 and 2.7 times ROI or return of investment with all the JR train rides we took. Based on the new JR Pass prices, 2 of them were still worth it. We want to share with you how we used our 7-day JR Pass on this post and our 14-day JR Pass on a separate post, so you can have some idea of how you can still get your money's worth with a JR Pass. We are the kind of travelers who love going to different areas of Japan on each trip. We would like to warn you that our itinerary is hectic but doable and fun. We will just share here mainly the general itinerary to show our JR Pass usage. We will provide details about the places we visited in different posts later on. We mentioned that this was a quite hectic itinerary. It involved transferring a couple of times, so we carefully planned the trip in the sense that we needed to strategically plot the travel time in each transfer and the hotel locations. We also listed the Shinkansen or bullet train trips we needed to take. There was not much room for flexibility in moving from one area to the next, but we made sure that we had enough time to enjoy each area we visited. This was a 9-day trip from the end of June to early July, and our main agenda was to experience Hokkaido's summer season, including their beautiful flower farms. We entered through Osaka and exited from Tokyo. On day 1, we arrived at Osaka and claimed our JR Pass at the airport. The claim date is not necessarily the start date of the pass. You can set it to any 7 consecutive days of your trip. In our case, it was day 2. We mentioned earlier that we have listed the Shinkansen rides we will take as we planned our itinerary. When we claimed our JR Pass upon arrival, we also reserved our seats for all Shinkansen rides. Anyway, we could rebook it if necessary as long as there were still available seats. Especially now that the luggage space at the back of each car is reserved for the passengers in the rows beside it. Booking the seats early on is important. We chose Osaka as the entry point because it had been 4 years since we went to Osaka, and we missed the Dotonbori vibe and, of course, our favorite Osaka foods. We took advantage of having a JR Pass to make a quick stopover. We stayed in the Namba area because we knew we would stay late at Torikizoku, our favorite izakaya at that time. But ideally, if you take a morning Shinkansen trip, it's most convenient to stay near Osaka's Shinkansen station, Shinosaka. Day 2 is the start date of our 7-day JR Pass. On day 2, we transferred to Tokyo in the morning, explored the city during the day, and spent the night at a Tokyo hotel. JR Pass can be used in all JR routes throughout Japan, including Shinkansen lines, but not in all trains. In the Tokaido Sanyo Shinkansen, which runs between Tokyo and Osaka, there are 3 types of train: Nozomi, Hikari, and Kodama. Nozomi is the fastest and Kodama is the slowest and has the most number of stops. Unfortunately, JR Pass is not valid in Nozomi, so we always ride Hikari in traveling between Osaka and Tokyo. Now when you check the schedule on Google Maps, it would normally show Nozomi. To check the schedule for Hikari, click this arrow. It will show the schedule for the next hour or so. If you want to check the schedule for a specific time and day of departure or arrival, you may set it as well. Now when you check Google Maps for any train schedule in Japan, it is important to take note of the platform number. This will save you a lot of time in looking for the platform when you get to the train station and most especially from getting lost or riding the wrong train. Google Maps also shows the transportation cost. This is very useful in setting your transportation budget or in estimating how much you need to load in your IC card. We hope that helps you in using Google Maps to plan your itinerary and during your trip. Now back to our day 2. We traveled to Tokyo for almost 3 hours. We arrived there by lunchtime. Going around Tokyo, you can use the JR Pass at the Yamanote line. We went to our Tokyo destinations that day through other Tokyo lines, so we didn't use our JR Pass. We stayed at a hotel close to the Ueno station. The Shinkansen lines going north from Tokyo starts at or passes through the Ueno station, so it is best to stay near it. By the way, as at February 2023, the Tokaido Shinkansen still has smoking areas. If you want to be close to it, reserve seats at Car 15. Car 15 is near the far end of the platform, so allocate enough time for walking before the train arrives. Please keep in mind that Japan train schedule is on time. But just in case you haven't reached your assigned car, just get in any car and walk your way through other cars. It would just be inconvenient for you and the aisle passengers if you're lugging large suitcases. On day 3, we started the day early since it was a long train ride. We traveled from Tokyo to Hakata, explored the area during the day, and also spent the night there. We chose the earliest possible train because we wanted to maximize our day in Hakata. It also allowed us to ride a direct Hayabusa Shinkansen trip instead of having transfers. Please take note that seat reservation is required on the Hayabusa train, and it is recommended to reserve early on because it gets fully booked. There are only 8 trips to Hakata and 9 trips back to Tokyo each day. This is the Akita Shinkansen. It runs north up to the Akita Prefecture. Watch and see what's behind it. Attached to it is the Hayabusa. They will separate at the Morioka station, where the Akita Shinkansen will go west to the Akita Prefecture and the Hayabusa will continue north to Hakata. The Shinkansen line to Hakata just started operating in 2016. Before, Shinkansen only reaches the Amori Prefecture. People had to ride a ferry to reach Hakata. Now Hokkaido can be reached by train using the JR Pass. The trip will end at Shin Hakata Hokuto, the Shinkansen station of Hakata. Enjoying the beautiful countryside scenery of Japan makes the long travel time pass by just like that. And we get to see different things across regions in Japan that we wouldn't reach on foot. And frankly speaking, the Shinkansen seats are more comfortable than basic airplane seats. The Shinkansen station is outside the Hakata proper. When we arrived at Shin Hakata Hokuto station, we just left our luggage at our hotel, which is right beside the station. Then we took the train to Hakata station. Both Hakata Line and Hokuto Limited Express are JR lines, so we used our JR Pass. From Hakata station, we spent the rest of the day exploring the area on foot or by tram, which is not covered by JR Pass. Temperature in Hokkaido is quite low even during summer. It goes below 20 degrees Celsius at night. Because it was a rainy night, the real feel was around 10 degrees. We're now on day 4 and our 4th daily transfer. But unlike the previous days, instead of transferring to the next destination in the morning, we went to Amori and spent the day there, went back to Hakata and traveled to Sapporo at night. When we travel, we normally include places we find interesting but not as touristy. Amori is the northernmost prefecture in the Honshu Island. It is known for its abundant nature, apple production, and its summertime Nebuta festivals. We only spent a few hours there, but the peace and tranquility we felt were memorable. It is important to always check the train schedule in each area. These are the specific train rides we took. Since the trips of the local JR line are not frequent, we had to plot even the return trips to make sure we return in time for our train ride to Sapporo. We took advantage of the gaps to eat and buy souvenirs. By the way, Japan is known for having stamps in each area. They are nice remembrances of the places you visited. Upon arriving at Shin Hakata Hokuto station, we got our luggage from the hotel and returned to the station for another long train trip to Sapporo. Traveling at night allowed us to sleep and rest for a few hours after walking around Amori. Since we slept and had dinner on the train after checking in at the hotel, we were still able to stroll around Sapporo. The temperature was a bit chilly and the streets were bright but quiet. Even if Sapporo is the 5th largest city in Japan, the vibe is chill and relaxing. Sapporo was our hub for the next 3 days, so we stayed in a hotel that's walking distance from Sapporo station. Day 5 was the first day of this trip that we didn't have to pack our luggage. This was the day our friends arrived at Sapporo. We spent 2 days exploring Hokkaido with them. We took the train to Otaru. It was covered by JR Pass. Trips are more frequent on both train lines you can take, so there's no need to be particular with the schedule. We spent the whole afternoon strolling around Otaru. It has a more touristy vibe. The stores and crowd were more lively and young compared to Hakata. It's nice that they offer different experiences. We also went to Sapporo Beer Museum using our JR Pass. We considered day 6 as the highlight of our trip. On that day, we didn't have any use of the JR Pass. We availed a full-day tour package to Flower Farms, Blue Pond, and a few other stops. The lavender was not in full bloom yet. They said we came a week early. We had a great day nevertheless. Day 7 was our last day in Sapporo. Similar to what we did when we transferred to Sapporo, we will move down to Hakata at night. Doing this let us maximize our day. We spent the day strolling around the city. Most popular spots can be reached on foot. We had dinner at Sapporo Station before taking the last trip to Shin Hakata Hokuto Station. We also bought breakfast food at Sapporo because we knew that the nearby convenience store would be close when we arrive. We stayed in the same hotel beside Shin Hakata Hokuto Station. It is a perfect transient hotel for people traveling to and from Hokkaido via Shinkansen. Day 8. Time to leave Hokkaido. It was the last day of our JR pass, so we really had to make our way down to Tokyo. We took a morning trip but not that early. We were just winding down as we come to the end of our trip. We stayed at a hotel across Keisei Ueno Station, where we rode the Skyliner train to Narita International Airport. Day 9. Time to go back home. Our flight was at night, so we just left our luggage at the hotel and did some activities until late afternoon. So that's how we used our 7-day JR pass. Even if we got the JR pass at 50,000 yen, our total usage would still be double the cost. There are other possible scenarios in your itinerary. JR pass covers many other places. But the basic idea is that you would definitely get your money's worth when you use it to travel to and from Hokkaido. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more Japan travel-related information and recommendations. Please watch out for part 2 of this JR Pass post. We will share how we used our 14-day pass on our 2023 winter trip. Till the next one. Thanks for watching.